Hello and welcome back to the MC Championship video. We were blessed with the MCC 27 Underdogs team surprisingly late. So let's discuss each team, analyze their strengths and weaknesses and try to rank each one from last to first. Although not too balanced as it's a half canon event with so many new players, all thanks still go to Scott's Major for these fun teams. A quick disclaimer, my discussion of each team is based purely on facts and statistics from past events, nothing will be made up, and as for my ranking, it's all opinion based while remaining unbiased. So please, if you have something to say about these teams, then go ahead and join me down below in the comments, share your thoughts on the MCC 27 teams. Don't tell me I'm wrong because once again it's my opinion, and yet I'm most definitely wrong with all of my placements because the teams are so balanced. Also, there are so many possible combinations where to put each team, plus we don't know the game order or games will even be in this event, and the coin multiplier therefore makes it impossible for me to get every single placement correct. But in previous videos I managed to get just a couple right. Just for this event I will say that there are a handful of new players who I barely know anything about, so I have tried to find some Minecraft gameplay to assess their general mechanical ability, and I've also looked at other variety games to see if they are from a competitive background of gaming. Just note that this particular ranking is kinda subjective because the teams are similar to that of a non-canon event like the Pride events, therefore I'm focusing more on their chemistry and team dynamic rather than the ranking itself. Remember that every player here has never won a canon MCC before. With that out of the way, let's look at our MCC 27 teams. In last place, but by no means the worst team, the Cyan Coyotes with Disguised Toast, Box, Masayoshi and It's Timmy, the only team with all new players. So I haven't actually heard of any of them, but from my 39 seconds of research, I found out that they all won a massive Fall Guys tournament only a few months ago, which leads me to believe that they could be a highly competitive team. They will certainly want to win, but is this likely to happen? You see, there's a reason I placed them 10th for now. Of course, it's the lack of MCC playtime that will undoubtedly hinder them. Perhaps an MCC Island team training session is in order. Does anyone know if they get access to that inactive dedicated practice server that no one uses anymore? Regardless, they don't have much time to prepare, and I can only assume that they can do good at movement games like Hole in the Wall and Parkour Warrior. Next up at 9th we have the Pink Parrots with It's Funny, Golden Glare, Painting Rainbows and Draconite Dragon. It's the MCC Pride 21 Green Guardians, aka the crew, primarily known for other games such as Roblox, but occasionally some Minecraft thrown in there too. They finished 9th place in Pride 21, and as expected they played more for fun, so if they go into this event with the exact same mindset and playstyle, then perhaps the Cyan Coyotes will overtake them in the final event standings. Back in Pride 21, this team actually didn't do too bad in PvP compared to some of the other teams that had canon MCC players. Thanks to their strong friendship as they make loads of content together, I think this team will have great communication, which should pull them up when it comes to team games like Signs of Time, which better get played this event despite it being a complex game. Here's an interesting one to watch out for, the Llamas with Gizzy Gaza, Gamerberry, Jerry Groseffa and Creekcraft, pulling together half of the MCC Pride 21 winning team with Gizzy and Creek. It will be their first time playing an event this year. Same for the other two members of the team. Creek went crazy in Pride 21 in what was fair to say was an unexpected pop-off, reaching 4th individual in his first event. He played for most of All-Stars last year too, finishing 40th without playing 2 games, but the difference between these two events is that Creek grinded hard in Pride 21, whereas in All-Stars he was a last-minute sub, so he didn't even know that he was going to be in the event. Therefore, with this advanced notice, could Creek rise to the challenge and take leadership for his team? Jerry Groseffa was also in Pride 21, but their last canon event was over 2 years ago in MCC 8, but Gamerberry is the most surprising addition, last played in MCC 9, but she's teamed with Joey 3 times before. Now we have the Green Geckos with Foolish Gamers, Tina Kitten, Saikuno and Katamina. Great to see Foolish and Tina back at it for the 3rd time together. Add to that Tina's recent Pride 22 teammate Saikuno. Now what's interesting is that Saikuno actually finished the highest on his team in his only event, 34th individual in Pride 22. The main thing holding him back from a significantly higher placement was a laid-back, non-competitive team, and in some ways, especially thanks to Foolish, who won Pride 22, this team is a little more competitive now. Still a wildcard, as is the case with most of the teams this event, since Saikuno has barely played. Tina played a few events in a row, but has been absent for several months until now, and although Foolish has been playing every event since his MCC 22 debut, he's still a fairly new player. Oh, and speaking of new players, I haven't been able to find any Minecraft content from Katamina. Maybe I haven't looked hard enough. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they've probably played Minecraft at least once in their life. Almost to the halfway point now, 6th place are the Yellow Yaks with Jack Manifold, RT Game, Red Velvet Cake and James Marriott. You have to appreciate the fact that all the teams so far have been very solid wildcards, especially this team as it lacks a real leader. RT Game is back, last played in MCC 16 as a one-off stunt because his last canon event before that was MCC 7 over 2 years ago. But don't forget his participation in the Jingle Jam MCC where he led his team to 4th place while achieving a respectable 5th place individually. Jack is a much more recent player and has lost every single dodgeball round he's ever played in. He usually sits around the 21st to 30th ballpark for individual placements and only occasionally slips into the bottom 10, like we saw from him just last event. Velvet is a much newer player, started off with his non-canon debut in Pride 22 and was only recently added to the mainstream event for MCC 25. We've got another new player in James Marriott. I believe he's done some Minecraft stuff with Jack Manifold, so he will definitely fit into this team's fun antics. Here we go, moving into the top 5 teams for this event, starting with the Aqua Axolotls with Ranbu, AMZ, Ludwig and Valkyrie. What a fun team. Ranbu and AMZ are the duo we saw from MCC 23, where they didn't do so well, but hey, this event is full of redemption opportunities for lots of the teams. I think Ranbu can surprise us by speeding back into the top 10, which we saw from him a few times earlier in Season 2, for example in MCC 19. Ludwig has actually already played a canon event all the way back in MCC 13, his best game being Parkour Tag, where to this day he still holds one of the highest averages for that game, maybe because he only played it once. AMZ has proven that they can creep out of the bottom 10 in MCC 25 for example, and they even made it to Dodgebot last month in MCC 26. Valkyrie participated once in Pride 22, coming 38th on the same team as Tina and Saikuna as I mentioned earlier. Could this be the team that finally gets Ranbu's long-awaited victory? They will definitely want movement games, particularly Hole in the Wall, as this is where Ranbu really shines. Moving on to 4th place, which will be the Orange Ocelots with Dan TDM, Ant Venom, V Gumio and Baba Abe. This is perhaps one of the most surprising squad combinations in this event, but Ant Venom and Gumio are also on the same team for the Minecraft Competitive League Twitch Rivals event running all through this month, so perhaps some of their competitive energy can be transferred over to MCC. Now then, who's going to be the team captain? Ant Venom, I would assume. He's an OG Minecraft YouTuber, and although he only joined MCC quite late, his placements between his first 2 events suggest exponential improvement, climbing from 39th to 23rd between MCC's 24 and 25. Another OG YouTuber, Dan TDM, is finally back for the first time since MCC 14, slightly below average in the events he's played in, but perhaps that changes for Underdogs. Gumio mostly hangs on the bottom 10, but you can never forget their 15th place in MCC 19. We have another new player, Baba Abe, and unlike a lot of the other new players, he does play a lot of Minecraft. In fact, he just joined the Vault Hunters SMP, which features other MCC players like CBK and H-Bomb. The 3rd place team who unfortunately barely missed Dodgeball for this list are the Purple Pandas with Fire Breathman, Blushy, B-Double, and Impulse SV. Another unusual mix of content creators, but a welcome mix nonetheless. We have the highly anticipated debut of Fire Breathman, sometimes referred to as Technoblade Sensei. He plays in several different Minecraft esports events. He's even a former MCC tester. He has already done hours of VOD reviews in MCC Island streams, and so is Blushy. She won MCC Rising, but since this was non-canon, she's been allowed into Underdogs. Joining them are 2 heavily requested Homocraft players, B-Dubs and Impulse. The whole team plays a lot of Minecraft on a regular basis, making them potentially one of the strongest teams mechanically. If team leader Fire Breathman can pull them all together with some multiplayer practice together, who knows how many points they will amass on the day. This is genuinely a frightening PvP team, but they aren't without competition of course. So here are the top 2 teams that could very well enter Dodgeball, although in actuality any of the 10 teams could make into the finale. This is just my gut instinct. Our runner-up team are the Blue Bats with Awesome Dude, Ponk, Elena EXE and Niachu. I may be taking a risk here, but I think this team has great synergy and decent potential to do well. I reckon Awesome Dude is going to lead the team, a position which we haven't seen him take before, and now he's also the strongest player on his team for the first time. We've seen him hit top 15 a couple of times before, including 10th place in MCC 22. He teamed with Ponk back in MCC 21. Ponk has played somewhat infrequently since his MCC 16 introduction, and usually finishes between 25th and 30th, but his recent jump up to 15th in MCC 25 is perhaps an indication of rapid improvement. Elena also joined MCC during season 2, making Niachu the only player on this team to have started out in season 1, but she took a huge break after MCC 20 and made a short return for Pride 22, after which she disappeared from the event again. Despite this team will be very fun, and the duo of Awesome Dude and Ponk is sure to dominate PvP. And in 1st place, the Red Rabbits with Hannah XX Rose, Person Moon, Ginelli and LD Shadow Lady. This team has arguably the best team leader in this event, Hannah Rose, not just because of her improving skill, but also the way she strives to train hard for every event. As we've seen from her hours of VOD review and practice streams, bear in mind she's only been in 2 events so far. Luckily, her MCC 24 teammate Person Moon has a lot more MCC experience, so should be able to contribute massively to the team's success. Ginelli has also recently been partaking in a lot more events in 2022. While she does seem chill, she also appears to fit the competitive mood of this team. Apparently, she does a lot of practice for every event, the majority of which goes unnoticed by the community. LD Shadow Lady last played in MCC 13, so besides a brief reappearance in Pride 21, she hasn't played at all in season 2, but she does a lot of Minecraft content, so she can't be rusty. As you can see, it's an incredibly well-rounded team for PvP, movement and team games. No doubt they will all get trained by JoJo Solos and will want to put in their best effort on the day of the event. So despite this event being only half canon, those were still some tricky teams to rank. Looking at my own ranking, I still feel unsure about how low I place the Aqua Axolotls. Maybe they should be a couple places higher. But if I move a team up a few spots, who should I move down? Even as I'm recording this, I haven't made up my full mind, and that's okay. Remember that these are just initial thoughts and they will change as I see which teams are putting in the most practice and which games will be announced, and for which teams they'll benefit the most. I'll post my final predictions right before the event starts in the comments below, so go join me there to discuss these epic teams. Well, I've been your host, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you on the next MCC video. See ya!